Skavetta music.
Hey, what's going on, folks? It is me, it is I am him, it is Space Cadet, and I gotta stop the podcast real quick to talk to you guys about the Struggle Compound. Struggle Compound is located at 2400 Seneca Street, Suite number 5, right on the border of West Seneca and Buffalo. The Struggle Compound is a collective of multiple businesses who are all hustlers, entrepreneurs, and creatives. Struggle Compound is a recording studio, a barbershop, film and photography. Ladies, the Struggle Compound has you covered too, with exclusive extensions by Lele Jones and the Lace Effect. Also, if you need to get some clothes and right before you go out, come stop through. They got Buffalo's own Family Trappers, Struggle Clothing, and much more. And shout out to the new business Sleek that just stopped up in here. Come get you some sleek clothing today. And lastly, folks, you can stop here and come see the Spaced Out Podcast and Rev Room. If you're looking to get your podcast done, if you're looking to get some film photography, some drone work, Rev Room's got you covered. Hey, what's going on, folks? It is me, it is I am him, it is Space Cadet, and you are now tuned into the Spaced Out Podcast. And today, folks, we got B.A.R.S Murre in the fucking building. What's going on, pimp? How you doing today?
Chilling, bro. Glad to be here.
Yo, I got to watch you perform for the first time yesterday. I've been a big fan since 2013, I think.
Right.
Listening to you since Buffalo dude Davey Lowe fucking had you on a track with Riff Raff.
Right.
And
that was like 2012, I think. Yeah,
some
like that.
shit like that.
Yeah.
Because when I just got out the army and shit, I was like, yo, this dude fire. And you throwing comedy in the rap too.
Yeah.
But it fucking, the way you do it is just like flawless. And you've been doing it for so long too.
Yeah.
You really haven't changed up the style.
Never.
You just got better and better over time. So it's like, it's fire, especially the new album.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely shown your evolution of you in the past, over the 6 albums that you've done.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
Thanks.
I appreciate you being here.
Facts. I'm glad to be here.
So, for the people who don't know you, who you are, you want to tell them who you are?
B.A.R.S Murre from South Jersey, from the area of Burlington, New Jersey, which is the Philadelphia metropolitan area. So, you know, I got a kind of a Philly vibe because the part of Jersey I'm from is basically Philadelphia. I've been in the hip hop my whole life, you know what I mean, since the 80s, really. I started rapping. I decided to rap in 2009. I dropped my first mixtape 2010. That's Why They Don't Like Me, hosted by Gilly the Kid. And I had some good features on there. I met Beanie Siegel at the time, and he gave me a feature. And French Montana gave me a feature for my first mixtape. So I kind of came correct from the rip, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
And then from there, I just kept it moving. I took some breaks here and there, but you know what I mean? Here we are 14 years later, still doing it. Now I'm with Benny the Butcher's label, Black Soprano Family.
Yeah, you took a 4-year hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
No drops, no nothing. Like, I mean, you had singles and stuff coming out, like,
here
and there.
Here, I would drop like 1 or 2 videos a year, but that would be songs that I already had recorded from years before that. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really working, man. I had to get my personal life straight, you know what I'm saying? Because when you're on this rap run, you kind of let everything else go when you're really in motion, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I didn't want to be off. My money started getting fucked up and shit. I was like, and I ain't the type of dude that could like live life normally if my bread is fucked up and my house is fucked up, losing the crib and shit like that. Like, so you know, I just had to get my shit straight again and to get ready for war again. And now here we are,
Yeah.
banging.
No, yeah, that album, fire, jewelry store shootouts.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd the concept of the album come up? Where'd you come up with it?
Bro, that shit just came to my head one day, and I was like, "That's gonna be the album." But like, I hustle jewelry. That's one of my side hustles. Out of Philadelphia, out of Market Street Gold. I do a lot of business there. So it's like I always had a jewelry connection. Jewelry has always been my hobby. I've had a million chains. I just got a crazy piece the other day. I don't even know if I want to wait till you see this shit. Jewelry's always been, since I was about 20 years old, I've been into jewelry. So it's, you know, I'm almost 42. So almost 22 years of being in the jewelry game, buying, flipping, selling Rolexes and all that shit. So there's that, you know, it's part of my life, and it's just another concept for the album, and it also represents like how crazy these young boys are, how goofy shit is, where you can be in the jewelry store buying something, a motherfucker might run in there while you're buying the jewelry and just blaze that shit up, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it represents mayhem.
Come in with hammers like fucking T Grizzly.
Exactly. So it's just mayhem, but it's the smooth shit mixed with the mayhem. It's, you know, it's just a little peace and time where we're at right now.
It was the features on it, all fire.
All BSF.
Yeah, all BSF.
Besides Little Fame from MOP.
Okay, yeah.
Everybody else was BSF on there. Yeah. I did all that shit out here. Shot all the videos out here in Buffalo. Maybe one or two in Philly and Jersey, but mostly everything in Buffalo. You know what I mean? Being on tour with them and shit.
Yeah. So let's go to that. Let's jump to that. Like you meeting Benny. How did that come along for y'all to meet?
Well, during
and anyone from Buffalo to meet up. How did that come along? Like, how did you and Dave get in touch together?
He hit me I had a buzz back in like 2010 and shit off of like World Star and stuff like that. And they just hit me for a feature, and they would drive to Jersey to get verses from me. And then I hooked them up with Riff Raff, and then that's how he got hooked up with all the other people. And I gave him my cameraman. You know, they had Peanut 215 and shit. That cameraman, like, I hooked him up with all them motherfuckers.
Peanut was live at that time.
I had a Buffalo connection since I first started rapping. You know what I'm saying? And now here we are now. So, but like, as far as BSF goes, but you know, I took a hiatus, got my money straight, and during that time, I was staying out in Miami, in South Beach and shit. I had a little beach condo, and one day I was leaving the club late, walking down the street, and I intersected a block with Tony from BSF, and he had a Buffalo Bills hat on. We started talking about football and shit. He's like, asked me what I did. I said, I'm a rapper. I was like, hey, Buffalo's up right now. Like, y'all got the Griselda shit. That's my type of wave. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, what do you do? So he followed me on Instagram, and I woke up the next day. You know, if you wake up, you check your phone, you look at your phone, you check IG and shit. And I saw the dude follow me. I saw follow him back. I'm like, I look at his pictures. I'm like, oh shit, this motherfucker, like in the game, he fucks with the cats. The only cats I would really fuck with is he's fucking with. So I DM'd him some of my videos because I know he didn't know who I was just off the rip.
Yeah.
Just because I said my so I sent him my video with like Cool G rap and shit like that, so they know like what my shit really is. Because you can see some shit where I'm like being silly and not know that my shit is really thorough like that.
Right,
you know
yeah.
When I do that funny shit, it's because I really am that thorough and I can just get that shit off. I ain't really no goofy motherfucker like that, but that's a part of hip hop. I mean, like, I grew up when Biz Markie was still around, and there was Humpty Hump and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? While it was still dope, but it still had humor. You know what I'm saying? So I met Tone, DM'd him the Cool G rap shit, and then he just started throwing me plays. He got me my Benny feature, and then got me on tour with Conway and Benny, and then I just became friends with everybody in BSF, and here we are 3 years later. You know what I'm saying? Here we are now.
Well, what do you think your favorite? Let's back to the album. The favorite song on the album. What would be your like for that album in this moment in time? What would be the song that like?
See, I'm a weirdo. When any album, the best albums, I always pick the weirdest fucking song that nobody else likes. I listen to the Jones that everybody skips. I'm looking at the fucking track list right now because I gotta fucking see it to know to answer this correctly. I don't want to just say some shit and it not be the truth. My favorite shit on the album, actually, Track number 1, Jewelry Store Shootouts.
Jewelry Store Shootouts.
Jewelry Store Shootouts. The album's called Jewelry Store Shootouts. There's also a song called Jewelry Store Shootouts.
Number 1, and then it goes to
Guess
Big
Who.
High. Guess Who, which I think is one of the dopest songs too on the
that's
track.
one of the highest streaming songs on there.
And
that might be the best song though too.
But I like how you put the humor into it, because it's like, yo, it makes it a little bit more interesting and separates you from people.
It's just too serious, bro. Like, I'm not gonna be rapping about killing people and my gun. Like, I blend that shit in there, and I always do it in a funny way. Like, shot you. I'll name like a weird ass body part people don't get shot in. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Or you're naming people who don't even exist. Like,
like shit like that.
Guess who I just
Billy
served?
Smithers and shit like that. Like, it's like that comes from like, if you're like traveling in the suburbs and you serve, like, that's what you really, when you get out of the city, you want to serve people in the burbs and shit, because it's less dangerous and shit.
Yeah.
Now you're serving all these corny ass nerds and shit like that with names like that. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, This shit's funny.
Nah,
but yeah, I gotta say Jewelry Store Shootouts gotta be my number 1 on there.
Then my number 3 for me, well, not all of them are hard, but that Pumper joint, yo, that shit is just, it just goes hard.
That's the remix. That's the remix with Armani Caesar on Jewelry Store Shootouts. But Pumper, the one I always perform is, I recorded that in 2014.
Yeah?
2014 I recorded Pumper, bro. And that shit still dumps, right? People think I just wrote that bitch now, you know what I'm saying?
No, I knew it was a remix. I seen that, but I didn't know when it was put out.
I dropped it in 2020, but I recorded it in 2014. Remember, I didn't drop nothing for Black Tinita was 2015. I didn't drop another album until 2020. So that shit was in the cut that whole entire time. So I dropped it in 2020. I started performing it on tour with them in 2021.
Yeah.
And then they just kept saying, like, bro, you got to do a remix with Armani. And finally it happened, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it was the perfect. I told Mr. Green, we just left out, I was like, yo, guess who's on the remix? He was like, who? I was like, Armani, you gotta listen to this. He was like, what? He got so excited. I'm like, yo, it's the perfect song too. Y'all do a video yet?
We're supposed to.
That shit would be hard.
I know, we're supposed to. Hopefully it happens.
So the animated part of your rapping, where did that come from? Like,
I've always been a silly motherfucker, bro. I was class clown. I was also class clown that will fuck you up though growing up. I wasn't no goofy motherfucker, but I made everybody laugh growing up. Like, borderline class clown, but not like the stupid class clown. Like, I was always like considered the funny guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that is. Like, I'm a ball buster. I like to crack jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm in a part of my. I'm being more funny now because I'm more comfortable with being a rapper now. Like, when I first got into, remember when I started rapping, all them first videos you see me, that were my first times rapping. I didn't like have this shit planned out. Like, them first videos. That was all my first raps I ever wrote.
So
the first time you ever see me, I was only rapping for a month. You know what I'm saying? Every song I ever recorded got a video the next day. All that shit from 2010, 2011, 2012, that was my first time rapping ever. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I had practice or nothing. My first time in the booth, there was a video out the next week. You know what I'm saying? Like the intro from Cocaine City shit. That's my first shit I ever recorded, bro. I didn't even know how to breathe in the booth. I'm reading off the paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I gotta get this shit down. But yeah, I had no practice, no nothing. It was straight natural with it. You know what I'm saying? I came in with my own style from the rip, never switched it up. But that's just the hip hop in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I am. I was the top hip hop fan of all time. Like, you know, I was up on everything first, and you know what I mean? Like, I always liked the best shit. So it's like, I grew up on the best shit, so I couldn't fake the funk, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't put out no whack shit when I've been talking shit on whack rappers my whole life, you know what I'm saying? So
and so how did you and Riff Raff meet?
I met Riff Raff kind of before he was famous, like before he blew up. I met Riff. It was 2010. Know what it was? We were like the only white boys on World Star at the time. It was me, Riff Raff, and now Millie's, who now blew up. We're the only 3 white dudes.
Which is crazy, like, that he's been out that long too.
Yeah, he was out before me. I remember
and
seeing
now
his shit.
Everyone's just like hip to him. It's like, yo, man's been out. Like people are like, oh, like I've been listening to Riff Raff since in the army.
Yeah.
like when I was in the army, because some dudes, I was like, who the fuck y'all listening to? They're like, Riff Raff. I was like, who the fuck is that, bro?
Right.
Then I looked and I was like, yo, this dude gonna blow up.
Facts, and that's why I fucked with him because before I didn't have no funny shit. I wanted the people. My shit was coming across too hard. I'm like, I don't think people are getting the humor. I think that. So I was like, if I do the joint with him, they'll see that I'm not just trying to be some fucking tough guy trying to scare. Ain't like I'm that. I'm not no intimidating looking motherfucker. And I don't want them. You know, it just comes across corny when way rappers try to act all tough and shit.
Yeah.
Especially if you ain't really Mike Tyson out this motherfucker. So you know what I'm saying? Anybody can get it. So you ain't that tough. So I did that to kind of show people like, yo, bro, I'm a funny motherfucker too. You know what I'm saying? I can blend the street shit with the funny shit, which was missing in hip hop. Right after like the Jay-Z era kind of took out the whole humor in hip hop, and that's always was an element, always.
Yeah.
And me being, you know, hip hop first, like that's why I brought that shit back. You know what I'm saying? But me about Riff Raff, we met on like social media through like WorldStar or some shit. He was living in Maryland at the time, and I sent him that shit to hop on. He didn't even charge me or nothing at the time, because he, like I said, he was just like came off that show on MTV. It was just like blowing up on YouTube, but you know, not famous like that yet. So fucking, I had that beat in my motherfucking iTunes joint. And then I sent it to him. I told him what to say on the hook. I was like, yo, say, used to drive a Porsche Cayenne, trapping in the rain. Because he said that in one of his older songs.
Yeah.
I was like, if he just says that to this beat, like that's the hook, and that should go crazy. Called him, told him what to say. He said it, then he put his verse on. And then he wanted to shoot the video. He was living in Maryland at the time. This was before he went to Hollywood and all that shit. And I was staying in Jersey, and he was set up to come over, and I get shot the day before. So then he calls me the next day, like, yo, I'm still pulling up and everything's okay. I'm like, bruh. I was like, I just got shot yesterday. Like, I'm scared for my life right now. I don't even, you know, he's going to come to my actual house. I'm like, I don't even like going from my car to my door type shit. I'm like, and I was just like, nah, bro. Plus my friends at the time were like, don't do no shit with Riff Raff. I'm like, they didn't see the vision. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, first of all, his shit's kind of dope. And first of all, y'all motherfuckers just are still off that Rockefeller era where everybody got to sell crack and bust their gun.
I feel like people weren't even seeing like what he could like. It's just what he created. Mm-hmm. He knew what he was doing from the start.
Yeah. Like my boy Simon Rex always says, he's an evil genius. He's a fucking evil genius.
Dirty
bro.
Nasty.
Dirt Nasty, that's my brother. I was just with him a few weeks ago in Vegas while I was on tour with Benny.
Dirt Nasty is fucking fire.
Yeah, that's my homie, bro.
Yeah, I seen that was like
he did a whole album for me.
He
produced my 2013 album. It's called Dead Nasty. I'm dead and he was nasty.
Yep.
But yeah, we did tons of work together and produced a whole album for me. Took me on tour with him.
He said Alchemist was the one who introduced him.
Yeah,
he's like, yo, you gotta check these dudes out.
Yeah, so a year after I get shot, I finally hook up with Riff Raff. Now he blows up and he'll still do the video with me. Now he lives in Hollywood, California. I'd never even been to the West Coast before at this time. So I fly to fucking Hollywood, California, and when I get there, you know, I don't know, there was no weed dispensaries yet. Wasn't like weed was like just becoming legal. You know what I'm saying? If they were weed dispensaries, they were like illegal ones. And so I knew Simon Rex was commenting on my YouTube vids because my boy's girl told me. And I didn't know if he was like hating on me, like trying to make fun of me, or if he was like actually liked it, whatever. So I tweeted him, I'm like, yo, where the weed at? To him on Twitter, because I just knew he knew who I was. I was just seeing if he would hit me back. And he was like, he came to my hotel and scooped me. He was like, yo, check out, come stay with me. He's like, don't waste your money here. I'm like, okay. I didn't even know this motherfucker lived in the Hollywood Hills. I don't even know what the Hollywood Hills were. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, now I'm up in his shit. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I never want to go back down now. This shit is ill. Like, just the whole vibe of being up there. Remember, I've never been on the West Coast. To go straight from Jersey to the Hollywood Hills in one day is crazy. And then I didn't even know he was in a group with Riff Raff at the time, Three Loco, him, Indy Milonakis, and Riff Raff. I didn't know none of this shit, bro. So I'm meeting Simon Rex through the Riff Raff shit, but Riff was already a fan. So when he's at my hotel, I'm like, first thing I asked him, like, bro, how the fuck do you even know who I am? And then he said, music to my ears. Best thing I ever heard. He's like, Alchemist put me on you, who's my favorite producer. Yeah. So I'm just like, bro, I'm like, damn, that's all I wanted to know, because that's who I make the shit for. I do it for cats like with the best taste in hip hop, you know what I mean, to fuck with me. And the fact that the people I think that have the best taste and that do it were fucking with me is like, you know what I mean? It was music to my ears. That's all I needed to hear. You know what I'm saying? Let me know I was doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I met Simon. Was basically from Alchemist putting him on to me, and then my going out there to see Riff Raff, and then Simon come and let me stay with him. He produced an album for me on that same trip. Gave me 13 beats to go home and record to. And 6 months later, we had an album out on his record label, Shoot to Kill Music. And, you know, it was a big thing in my life because that was my goal. My goal was to make it to California and work with people that I think are cool, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it happened with only 2 years of rapping, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Simon Rex, and he's a fucking dope-ass actor, too.
Yeah, he's got a big movie coming out. I was just with him in Vegas, and he was shooting a movie with Al Pacino and Vince Vaughn.
Ooh.
And he's like one of the main characters.
That's
and
dope.
He like bangs Al Pacino's wife in the movie, and he's like got these goons trying to kill him for fucking his wife and shit. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Because like
That's gonna be hard.
he was almost down and out when we were like hanging tough in Hollywood all the time. Like he was always down, and he was like doing rap shows to pay the bills and shit like that. He was kind of like over it. You know, he was getting older and shit. So he was just like, bruh, he was just hustling every day trying to make it, whether it's rap and acting, modeling, fucking hosting events, and he was just always hustling, trying to make it. And just to see where he was at when we were hanging out every day, to see where he's at now with the top motherfuckers in the game of acting, and he ain't gonna get no smaller right now. Like he's got tons of shit booked for the next decade, and fucking, you know, it's all crazy, man, where everything's going right now.
Yeah.
And we were both down and out. Like our rap career was pretty much over. His rap career was almost over. He could still do shows with a couple hundred people showing up buying tickets, but that's not where he wants to be. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and now he is, you know, working with the best, and now I'm back working with the best. So yeah, life's crazy, man. You just gotta keep fighting for your shit.
What's a fact? Oh yeah, the production for Jewelry Store Shootout. Stupid fire production on that shit. Can you share the details about the producers who you worked with in the overall production process?
Yeah, the majority of that album is produced by a dude I found on Instagram. This guy from Jersey DM'd me and was like, yo, you gotta check out this dude Johnny Slash's beats. I could hear you rapping on this one joint. And I didn't end up grabbing the beat that the dude sent me to rap on, that he told me I should rap on, but I was like, looked at his page, and I was like, oh, I'll rap on that though, and I'll rap on that though. So I just started grabbing beats off him, and it ended up being like 10 of them shits.
Yeah.
So he did the majority of them, and then V Don did another, which V Don was the first person I ever got a beat off of for my first mixtape in 2010. My song Chinks Drugs in the Loop, no, that was all V Don way before he was famous. You know what I'm saying? I was one of the first people rapping on V Don beats. That's another thing people don't know. And so it was V Don came back.
You and what the fuck? Bodega.
Yeah.
You and
Ito,
Bodega.
right?
You and Bodega.
Oh, Bodega B.A.R.S?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And him were the first ones on V Don.
Yeah, right. I remember when I met V Don, he was like, you know, Ito. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know who he was at the time. So it was like me, Ito, Bodega B.A.R.S was the first ones like rapping on his shit like that. That was like working. And another dude that did, so it was V Don, Johnny Slash, and my boy SK from where I'm from in Jersey, who did the Push Cayenne beat with Riff Raff, made the beat Cooker x3 featuring Fuego Bass and Lil Fame from MOP.
Yeah.
So it's just them three producers. It's just them three. Johnny Slash, SK, and V Don.
Very, like, that shit was a banger.
Yeah.
Like you can, like I said earlier, you could see the evolution of B.A.R.S Murre, like from then till now.
I know.
Like, and you're like, yo.
I even hear it myself when I play the album. It's like this shit's just bigger.
Did you listen to was it Chicken
and Cake?
Yeah,
album?
Chicken and Cake album.
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen to that versus this,
oh my God, yeah.
I mean, I know it's like that's still like 14 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna hear the difference like in your voice and shit, but it's like just a difference in sound too.
Yeah, I'm way more comfortable in the booth now. I'm way more picky with beats, even though the beats on Chicken and Cake are fire. Some of them Johns I should have left off, but I'd buy like 6 beats off of dudes, but I only want 4, but it came with 6. I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to waste a beat, so I'm going to just throw that on the album, where really I should have curated better. But you know, there was not really no skips on chicken and cake, but this one was curated better because now it's like now I really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chicken and Cake was my first album. I was just trying to get something out there, but yeah, everything now is for keeps. So like I ain't fucking. Everything's got to be curated properly now. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at with it now. Like the next joint's gonna be even crazier because you know you got to make shit big now, man. You got to stand out. Everybody looks and sounds the same. Everybody's trying to sound like us now. So it's like, all right, boy, I got something else up my sleeve, motherfuckers.
Talking about, so what are your plans for moving forward?
Make another grimy, fly, funny album. Keep getting fresh, new jewelry. You know what I'm saying? I just copped that Miss Elizabeth piece. Wait till y'all see that shit. I might post it on Monday on my IG. I don't want y'all shooting me just yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man, hold on. We gotta go back to that because you did talk about that, and I did see it, but I never got the story behind it.
Mhm.
How did you get shot?
Just
what happened?
Just you know, just
Was it with a jewelry? Like you were doing a jewelry deal or some shit?
no. Actually, bro, it wasn't even like no type of deal or any. It was just two random motherfuckers trying to jam me at my walking into my house. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like somebody. I mean, I think it was just somebody telling people like, "Yo, you know where I'm kind of famous where I'm from, so like, where's B.A.R.S Murre live?" And you just tell the wrong motherfuckers, they're just gonna plow on your house until they hit you slipping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I pulled up to my house. I saw this grimy looking dude walking down my street, and I'm like, "There's no way he's from this block." Because where I was living at the time isn't where I'm from. I moved to a nice town called Mount Laurel. I'm like, this motherfucker don't look like he from Mount Laurel. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this motherfucker look like he walking with a shotgun under his hoodie right now. I'm like, the only motherfucker he be out here is for me. So I play my cool, walk in the door, and you know, I seen another dude coming from the other way and shit. So I'm like, I was carrying shit into my house. So it was a condominium complex. So I dropped my shit at my neighbor's door before I can get to my shit so they don't see my door. And I turn around, and this kid that was with me at the time, he kept walking to my door like he didn't pick up on what was happening. I hear him yell, and I turn around, and the one dude got a gun to his head at my door, and the other dude's right on my heels, like, and he realized I was hip to it. He's like, "Yo, just get in the house, you move him, I'll pop you." And I was like, "Yo, these motherfuckers gonna tie me up and torture my ass because this is broad daylight, no masks on." Like,
Yeah.
now I'm like, these motherfuckers gonna torture my ass if they get me in that house. So I just took off running, and he started shooting. And before I got shot, I thought I got shot from the back, and then went through the front.
Yeah.
Forensics told me I got shot from the front, and it came out the back. So obviously, when he said move my poppy, as soon as I twisted, you can see how the bullet went through. As soon as I twisted, he already popped me. And then I just took off, and he was looking at me that whole time I was running. So like, bro, I'm here for a real reason, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he was inches from me, letting off rounds. You know what I'm saying? And I got hit once, and
I saw the video the next day. You just like, yeah, you can see this shit, dog. Here you go.
Yeah. I was trying to act cool and shit, but that's not how I really felt. I just wanted to get some type of footage of it, just because people were like, oh, the Sopranos had that episode out where like the rapper shoots himself to get famous, and now any rapper that got shot after that, they think you're doing it to get famous. So I was like, I just gotta document this shit so they know like this ain't no cap. You know what I'm saying? Like shit is real.
Who the fuck want to shoot themselves to get famous?
That's how stupid people are, though. They think we're like just mythical figures that can just do fit. So you mean to tell me in my condominium complex where I have about 3,000 neighbors, it's all condos on a cul-de-sac, like 6 buildings, so I've got like 20 condos in each one. And broad daylight, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You think I'm gonna have someone shoot me in broad daylight? It's impossible, people. And be like, yo, by the way, miss my bone by a centimeter. And make sure you don't take my arm off, because if you miss me by a centimeter, my arm's gonna fall off. You know what I'm saying? Type of shit. Or if I move 4 inches, you would shot me in my heart. Like, people, nothing is fake. Nothing is fake, dog. Like, that's that other shit. That ain't Husky Marinette.
Yeah, yo, I did see that, and I'm like, yo, because they was talking about like your signing on Reddit, and yo, Reddit is like the worst place to go to.
It's Haterville.
Yo,
I actually didn't even know what
Haterville.
Reddit was. I found out what Reddit was when I was on tour with Conway, and there was people that had a Reddit thread about me asking like how I was doing on the tour. I'm like, this is just little underground weirdos that wish they were doing what we were doing, so they just want to talk about you.
This one dude fucking was trying to like dog shots on there. And I was like, yo, nah, dog, nah, because he was like, oh, shots ain't tipped me. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Fucking weirdos.
Yo, if you don't like your job, don't fucking do it. And if he ain't tip you, like, it don't matter. You like, who the fuck? Just because they're famous, how many people in your life have not tipped you and left? There's fucking people who sit at those tables who make way more than shots at.
I saw comments on me before. Somebody made a website about me one time, like talking mad shit, and like there was like a comment thread. As one of the comments was like, "Oh, he comes to my bar all the time. He's the worst tipper, bruh." I am literally known for being the biggest fucking tipper around where I'm from. So that weird ass motherfucker that's spreading all these lies that I'm the worst, that is the biggest cap in the world.
That
right?
shit,
that is the biggest
so
cap in the
whack
world.
that they're
I'm the
doing that
biggest
shit.
tipper, homeboy.
Like, why are you going online and saying, like,
bro, it's just jealous motherfuckers.
But I work at a dispensary. There are like people, the college kids tip better than the people who are driving fucking Porsches and fucking.
That's how it goes. People with
Escalades
money,
and all that.
Yeah. People with money, you know what I mean? They're frugal with their shit.
They're rich for a reason.
Yeah.
That's why I always say they're rich for a reason.
Yep. That's facts.
The jewelry. So, what got you into the jewelry game?
I think it's the entertainer in me. I think like all entertainers that from like Liberace and shit, like they always were in the jewelry and shit. And I was my entire life. I used to go in my mom's in the 80s. Like this is when I'm like 6 years old in 1988. Going to like my mom's jewelry shit and finding like a little herringbone and like a little rope chain. Because when you're 6, a girl's chain will look decent on you. You know what I'm saying? Like especially back then we weren't wearing big dookie shit unless you're like, you know, older with crack money and shit. But no, I was just a little kid like putting my mom's gold chains on and stacking them up, and I always wanted them. But I come from a very blue collar family that like you're not getting that type of shit for Christmas. You're not, you know what I'm saying? So I never like had that type. I always had like cool shit, but not like the dope shit that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like I had polo, but my polo was like from Marshalls, or if it was from Macy's, it was on clearance type shit. My parents were very frugal. My parents were successful, but they were frugal. You know what I mean? That's why they were successful. They saved all their money and shit like that. So it was hard growing up in the 90s and shit when Jordans are coming out and Tommy Hill and Polo and all that shit, and you got to arm wrestle your mom to get that shit because my mom is very tight with money, you know what I'm saying? So I never had the shit I wanted. So once I started getting my own bread, like 19, 20, 21, first thing I did was buy a fucking chain, dog, when I turned 20. I said I did a feature for this dude one time. I said I caught my first chain when I turned 20. Ever since then, I've been fucking up my money, and that's literally how I live my. Bro, I'd literally be a multi-millionaire right now if it wasn't for jewelry. What I wasted on jewelry in my life, bro. No bullshit.
I mean, everybody's got their vices in life.
I'm not a drug addict, but I'm addicted to jewelry. I wish I wasn't, man.
But you also flip it though, too, right?
I flip it, yeah, but it don't make up for all the losses I took. Yeah,
like gambling.
Yeah. I took a lot of loss. Just being stupid. I mean, it's all my fault. I don't do that now, but but going through the game, like always trying to upgrade your shit and trading in shit, and you get half of what you paid for, and then they hit you over the head for the other piece because they're taking a trade in, so they just add more money to the shit that you're trying to get the new shit of. You know what I'm saying? Put more racks on that. So yeah, just taking L after L after L with the jewelry shit, man, fucking my bread up.
Now, I want to jump back to the music thing before we get out of here. You've done some phenomenal collaborations over the 14 years. Are there anyone that you haven't? Is there anyone that you haven't collaborated with that you want to?
Alchemist, it has to happen.
I've been waiting for that shit too.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he told me to my face in 2012 at his crib that he got me, and then like one of his pieces of equipment broke in the studio, so I was like, damn, it ain't gonna happen now. But I was just with him like a month ago on tour with Benny the Butcher. He came to the Vegas show because he works with Bodie. Bodie James was the co-headliner, and he came out during Bodie's set. So I was hanging out with him and watching a lot of the show with Alchemist, and he was like, "Yo, we gotta do some shit," and hopefully, and he's super busy, super lazy. To me, he's probably the top dog in the game in my eyes right now for what we do. Yeah. So hopefully him, he fucks with me heavy, man. He gives me compliments up and down. He watched my set, loved it. And he told me he's down to give me some beats and shit. I got beats from all his homies like Evidence. Evidence gave me 7 beats for free back in 2013. Sid Rome's almost produced a whole album for me. Sid Rome's, who did the Prodigy from Mobb Deep, product of the '80s, and HNIC2. So I worked with all his homies, but I didn't get that Alchemist beat yet. Hopefully it happens one day.
Uncle Al.
Yeah,
We need
shout out
that.
to the Alchemist, man.
Big shout out to Alchemist. Because he is a big him. Well, obviously Derringer is, but and then how
I fuck with Derringer too.
And then Alchemist came and was just like, it just built like this like empire that Buffalo now has.
Yeah.
Like, we can stand on fucking pedestals in the city.
Yeah.
And be
you
like,
guys can talk your shit now, bro. Like
yeah.
Buffalo's not a joke no more.
We
like,
seen it last night. We seen it last night. Like
that shit is stamped.
The way that fucking Rick High was spitting last night was just wild. Fuego just killed it. Like the whole BSF fucking destroyed it last night.
Facts.
Shout out to the Struggle Compound. Happy 10-year anniversary, by the way. So if you hear the background noise, that's what's going on. But you know, Spaced Out Podcast always got to get that work in. So yeah, make sure y'all stop by too. 2400 Seneca Street, suite number 5. That's the Struggle Compound. Stop in. We got everything you need. Outside of music, what are some of the interesting hobbies?
Jewelry, going to the bar,
basketball. You always talking about basketball players and shit. Yeah, on fucking Twitter, you be dogging them basketball players.
You want to know why? Because I'm a season ticket holder for the Sixers.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been sitting in the same seat for 18 years. And that's why, like, yeah. I mainly only watch Philly sports. But
okay.
But the playoff time, like, I watch the playoffs and all that shit. But yeah, I'm a big Sixers fan just because, but the part of Jersey I'm from, everything is Philadelphia cable, Philadelphia radio stations, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
When you turn on to watch basketball, it's the Sixers game and then the Knicks. Everybody thinks New Jersey is New York shit, but South Jersey is Philadelphia. So that's how I became a Sixers fan. And, that's just what that is. Always being at the games and shit.
Yeah. I thought that was you just being a basketball fan.
I mean, I was as a kid in the 90s, like the Jordan era and all that shit. I played basketball a couple years growing up, but nothing crazy. I played every sport, but, I wouldn't say I'm the illest basketball head. I wasn't the greatest ball player. I did enough to start, but I wasn't like some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't play in high school. You know what I'm saying? I was always ineligible for winter sports. You had to have a C average. Never had a C average in my life, so I never got to play that shit.
I feel you. Yeah, I was the C student. Like my pops would be so mad because it'd be like, "Yo, you knew." I'm like, yeah, I did my best, but I really didn't. It was just me coasting by.
Dude, my one report card my sophomore year, I had 5 Fs and 2 Ds. My GPA was 0.4. My football coach said, "You're either retarded or you just don't give a fuck." I didn't know what to say in my head. I'm like, it's a little bit of both.
I'd have been like, yo, it's the first one, dog.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I am retarded and I don't give a fuck. But yeah, school was never my thing. I was a really bad student. I got left back a bunch of times, and I was the worst student ever, man.
Now, my last question before we get out of here, looking back at your career so far, what are you most proud of? And what do you hope to accomplish in the future?
I'm most proud of the ride that it's been. And I'm proud of the ride that I've been on and the people I've worked with and where I'm at right now. Hopefully it gets better. And what was the other question? The future?
Yeah, what do you see? What do you hope for yourself for the future?
Just that my relationships with everybody keep growing, that I know now, and that we all get bigger, and that I get to a place where like I can like headline shows and have dope rappers open for me, and get like a clothing brand off and shit, and get people working for me around me, working for me and shit, and shit like that. I got the mind for all this shit, but I just don't know how to. I don't know how to like do computer shit like that. I don't know how to like. I know how to design shit in my head, but I don't know how to like do. I don't know how to work technology shit. So I just need like a team around me, and just keep building with Benny and everybody that I'm with now, and just you know what I mean, get my brand out there, and hopefully like I can bring our BSF shit. I want BSF to be like how WWF was in the 80s, where you could have Hulk Hogan in one city headlining the show and Macho Man headlining the show across the country, where we could have BSF, you could have Benny here in one city on tour and me on tour in another city. You know what I'm saying? It's like when Macho Man and Hulk Hogan in the 80s and shit, WWF shit, you know, we get that big with 2 tours at the same time type shit.
Yeah, because they had way more than enough wrestlers to split that up too.
Yeah,
and it'd still be WWF. Yeah, that shit was raw. Yeah, that's hard. And yo, so there's a line that sticks out to me in one of your raps. You say that like, you don't put yourself first. Like you don't put yourself first. Like shit. And it does seem like the way that you talk, it seems just like that. That you always put in, like you want everyone else to succeed before you do, but then you'll succeed. You know that it's gonna be there for you.
Yeah.
Is that the mind state that you do have?
People never put me first, and I never put myself first. I never had an opportunity to even put myself first, so I just have to like finagle around positions where people always try to gatekeep with me my whole life and shit. So it's like I always have to maneuver around that shit. So it's kind of impossible to put myself first because nobody would let me do it anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had to fight to be who I am and shit. And I had to do everything the hard way. So I couldn't put myself first because nobody would have fucked with me. You know what I'm saying? That's just what that means.
Is there anything else you want to get tell the people before we get out of here?
Just go get my new album, Jewelry Store Shootouts. You'll love it if you're a real hip hop head. It's everything you need, man. Ain't no skips in that shit. It's a joint that's gonna last forever. You know what I'm saying? Then we talking about it just like people still talking about chicken and cake, and my shit lasts forever, man. This is in my body. This ain't like some hobby I'm doing. It's my life. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me, homie.
Yes, sir. Make sure you guys go like, subscribe, do all that cool shit. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
It's the Wiz.